Hey everyone, I'm going to do another Beatles update. It's going to be a very short one, I hope. And I've only got 3 records to show, but the 3 records that I have to show are pretty interesting and I think pretty unique, and a couple of them very rare. Okay, then after that I'm going to show some Beatles memorabilia that I got recently. To start with, I have a Grail. And the Grail is no surprise to anybody who's already clicked on the thumbnail picture, because I use this as my thumbnail. But it's finally the first time I've ever owned a copy of the Beatles versus the Four Seasons. This is an album that came out in 1964 in August, and it was by VJ Records. Both the Four Seasons and the Beatles were on VJ, and all they really did for this was they took the Introducing the Beatles album, stuck it in the jacket for the Beatles. They took Four Seasons album called the Golden Hits of the Four Seasons and stuck that in the jacket, and voila, you have a team up. And what's cool about it is on the back cover they had you be the judge and the jury over there to vote on who you prefer. You listen to all the songs, and then over here you rank by number on the Beatles side and the Four Seasons side, who you enjoy more, and they have the winner on the bottom. And a lot of times when you see this album, it's really trashed, and you have a lot of check marks and writings in here and numbers and things like that. This album is by no means pristine, and this album does not contain the poster. Anybody who knows about this album, originally it had a poster of the Beatles in it, and it's very hard to find it with the poster intact and in really nice condition. And if you had that in really pristine condition with the poster, this thing could be ridiculous money. I mean, stupid money that I wouldn't pay even if I was able to pay it. They have limits. So this does not have the poster. Now, this particular album is in pretty good condition. I've seen it a lot worse. I don't see it much better. I don't know if it'll show up here, but there were seam splits along the top, and it has been taped with clear Scotch tape. You really can't even notice it. And same thing on the bottom. Here's the spine of the record. Again, I don't know how well this comes across. Camera's not the best, but I'll show you the gatefold real quick. You got one side dealing with the Beatles and their history and their members and statistics, and the same thing with the Four Seasons side. This is a mono copy. It's not stereo. Stereo is much rarer if you have this in stereo. Mono, there was about they're figuring like 18,000 printed of this, which is not a lot, and I think they said only like 750 versions of the stereo, which is the rarer one. That's really quite a find if you can have it. Now, I know that one of my friends here on YouTube, Beatles Vinyl 85, Marv, he recently showed a copy of this that he got for like 27 bucks. It was an amazing steal, and he was very lucky. Congratulations, Marv. I've never had this album before, so I was glad to finally have it at all. And you know, unless I really come across a really nice copy of this in the future for a good deal or something like that, I'm content to have it like this. You know, I cleaned it up a little bit more. There's some imperfections on it. It's not perfect. Of course, there's some scuffs, and you know, you can see on the back some of the writing there is like smudged off. So the records themselves, now, not only does this not have the original poster, but it doesn't have the original inner sleeves either. So they were just kept in these kind of, you know, safety inner sleeves, and you have one record here, pretty nice shape, Golden Hits of the Four Seasons. You know, I have this album itself separately, the Golden Hits of the Four Seasons. What a lot of collectors like to do is try and take minty copies of the solo albums, Golden Hits of the Four Seasons, Introducing the Beatles, and then take the records out and find a pristine one, Frankenstein them in with this compilation. And here's, you know, an Introducing the Beatles copy. Pretty nice records, but even if they weren't, it doesn't matter, because I'm primarily buying this for the cover, really. It's the jacket that you want here, as far as I'm concerned, and the records are secondary. Okay, so that's that one, and very happy, as I say, to have that in my collection at last. Okay, the next one, I don't think it's as interesting, but still, nevertheless, I always try to get Beatles albums and solo Beatles albums in the shrink wrap whenever I can, sealed if I can, but this one's not sealed, but it's the first time I got the white album original in shrink wrap, and it has the breathing holes on it, so when I see the breathing holes, it makes me feel a little more secure that it may be original, not rewrapped or anything. I'm not going to show the records. The records are pretty good. I've seen better, and again, you can just find records that match the pressing and put them in anytime you want. I'm not going to show the poster or the photos of the four Beatles. We've seen those a million times, and they're in nice shape. But what I like about this is it has a sticker on it. This is not an official Apple sticker. This is a store sticker, I'm sure. The store just put this on there. Special price, 2-record set. So it's not really a very low number. It doesn't start with a 0. At least it doesn't have an A in front of it, a letter A, but there's no 0 here. It's 2597845. So there we have that. For those that are able to see that. So it's not really too high of a number. It's pretty good. Glad to have this in the shrink. Now, the next album I want to show, before I show it, I just want to say it took me a few days to decide whether I was actually going to cough up the money for this, because while this wasn't astronomically priced or anything, I'd never seen this before, and this particular version, and I really wanted it, but the price was a little higher. I was able to chew the guy down a little bit. We got down. Still feel that I paid a little more than I would have liked to for it, but it was so unique that I went for it in the end, and I'll show you. It's the first debut album of John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. Now, it's not the front, it's the back that I want to show you, but I'm just going to show you in the meantime. You got this sticker on here. Now, I've had this before with a sticker. Mine is black. It's a totally black sticker. This is more like brownish, kind of worn. It's not really very nice, but the black sticker is for the reissues, like in the 1980s, I believe. But what really sold me on this is there's a few variety of stickers that this album came with. You had a sticker with red lettering that usually was on the front here and has the song titles in red. I don't have that one, but this is one I'd never seen before, didn't know it existed. And this is why I bought the album and paid more than I wanted to. It's a white sticker with blue lettering, has all the song titles. It's on the back. And you got to be a pretty big fan and collector to pay a little more than you want for something like this. I've just never seen it before. I've checked since on one of the online websites, and this went at auction, so there was a copy that existed already. I checked the Perry Cox book, where they talk about the Beatles price guides for Beatles and solo albums, and this is supposed to be the rarest of the labels. There's like 3, I don't know if it's 2, 3, maybe 4, I think 4 variations of labels for this. And this is the rarest that seems to be worth the most. I did not pay as much as is in the book, by the way. I paid less than that for this. But anyway, they say that these stickers usually wound up on the front. But this one and the one that I saw that went on an auction not too long ago, both had their stickers on the back. So go figure, on the shrink wrap. So that's why I picked that up. Now, last items I'm going to show, I'm going to take the camera over on the side in a second. They're, or maybe I could show them here. Let's see. I'm going to just try to show them here. They're Hong Kong Beatles figures, and I paid a pretty good price, cheap price for these. They're not very good as far as the way they look. They're not very realistic as far as capturing the likenesses of the Beatles, but anybody who knows me knows that I don't really like to collect figures unless they look pretty authentically like the real likeness of the person. But it's okay, I don't mind when it's vintage. When it's a vintage collectible from the time, in this case the 60s, I don't mind. They're supposed to be John, I suppose. It doesn't really look like him, but there you go. These are very delicate, very easily broken. Now, this is Paul. And you could easily tell too, but this looks a little like him. And also you have the fact that he's playing left-handed. So that's the Paul figure. Then we're going to go for George. You know, I don't know. I suspect that some of these heads have been re-glued on here, because I don't know if George is supposed to be. He looks down a lot here, see? But that's the George figure. And at least one of these heads wobbles. I don't know if they're supposed to wobble, but I get the feeling that these have been repaired. But it doesn't matter. I paid a good enough price, you know, decent price for them. So, and of course, Ringo's easy to tell. You know, so you got the drums. So anyway, he's playing the drum, and that's it for this update. I thank you everybody for watching. Take care now.